Today we're going to talk about story structure. Now there have been many thousands of stories written over centuries, but all of those stories can actually be organised into 7 categories. And out of those 7 categories, each of those stories are actually all have the one similar or the one same story structure. So we're going to have a look today at what makes up that story structure, what drives the story along. Okay. Here we have the story arc. The first section of the story is the orientation. In this first section of the story, this is where we establish the who, what, why, when, where. Imagine this arc being like you're going to climb the mountain. So we're going to take the analogy of climbing the mountain to have a look at how this story structure plays out. We're going to start with the hiker. So where is this hiker going to? So the first peg the hiker puts in is actually the tension peg. So this is where you introduce tension. You create your conflict, or as many of you would be familiar with, the term complication. Tension is introduced and how you introduce tension into the story is to create conflict. And in creating conflict, what you're doing is you're engaging the audience at a deeper level. So for example, if I came up with a story of a girl goes to the shop, she buys a loaf of bread, she puts the bread in her bag and goes home. So that's actually not really a story. That's just describing what the girl is actually doing. But if I actually add conflict to that story, so the girl goes to the shop, she walks into the shop is crowded, she can't find the bread, she finds the last loaf of bread on the shelf, she goes to the counter to buy the bread, she looks in her bag and her wallet's gone. So she can't buy the bread. What you've done is you've actually created tension into the story, you've created conflict, which is actually what engages the audience at a deeper level. Because all of a sudden now we have a story. What's going to happen? How's she going to pay? What happened to her wallet? Okay, so this is the next step on the mountain, and this is where we start to escalate the tension. And as you get closer to the summit, it starts to become more dangerous, the terrain becomes more treacherous, so therefore we escalate the tension, which of course adds again to the interest of the story. So now we've escalated the tension, now we're going to get to the top. And as you can see, and it's very important that you've got the tension is kept tight all the way through the story. And so we're going to make it to the next step. And here we go, we're going to go through this treacherous terrain, and now we're going to reach the summit, which is the climax. This is where the story is revealed, and this is where the climax is. So this is also where both the audience and the author or composer or creator meet, because the story here has been revealed and all can see clearly where we were heading to. Okay, so happy days. We've heard the story's been revealed. Now we get to go down. This is where we release the tension. So how does this story structure apply to your writing?